Hello again. In this video, we will be learning not only how to write the equation of a circle, but to identify equation of a circle, how to identify the center of a circle on the coordinate plane. And for the coordinate plane, we know we write the coordinate in x and y format. For this, we will go back a little bit back to Algebra 1 and learn again how to factor using completing the squares. So everything in this video, so let's get started. Okay, so to identify the standard equation of a circle, we can write the standard equation of the circle using this: x minus h squared plus y minus k squared and r squared. Now what is r? R is nothing but the radius right here, and when we are talking about h and k, that is nothing but the center of the circle. As you can see, this circle, it has been constructed on the coordinate plane. What is a coordinate plane? X and y, right? So this is h and k that defines our standard equation of a circle. If you look closely to this circle and the triangle that is being formed here, x minus h and y minus k. Why it is that? If I consider any point on the circle, that will be x and y. That's how we write coordinate plane, right? X and y, right? If this is x, let's say this is x right here, and if this coordinate is h, so the distance between right here is x minus h, right? The same thing here. This is y and this is k. The distance here is y minus k. So we basically use the Pythagorean theorem. What Pythagorean theorem says? It says the hypotenuse squared is nothing but the square if we add the square of the two legs, right? In this case, what are the legs? We can say this is A and this is B, and C is nothing but R. R is the radius, right? Let's plug everything back here. If I plug everything back here, I will get r squared. A is x minus h squared, and B is y minus k squared. I can rewrite it: x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. Right? So nothing to be scared about. It is just derived from the Pythagorean theorem. Let's understand it better by taking some examples. Okay. I will solve question number 1 for you, and question number 2 you try on your own. Okay, so I drew a circle because they said the point 4 and 1 is on the circle. So point 4 and 1 is right there with center 1 and 4. So center is 1 and 4 right here. They want us to write the standard equation of the circle, but there is one thing that is missing. And that thing is the radius. I don't know the radius yet. How can I find the radius? If you remember, we did a distance formula, right? We need to find out what is the distance from this point to this point, right? What is the distance? So distance is nothing but a square root of x2 minus x1, that means difference of x's, plus y2 minus y1 squared. Right? Now, let's plug the values in. This is x, this is x. So, x2 minus x1, 4 minus 1 squared, and y2 minus y1, 1 minus 4 squared. In both cases, I will get 3. So, 3 squared is 9, 3 squared is 9. I will get radical of 18. Now, radical of 18, the distance here is equal to r. But what we just learned right here, that when we write the standard equation of a circle, we take radius squared. So what will be the radius squared? Radius squared in this case would be squared. Radius is nothing but 18 radius squared. Let's put it in the formula. So the standard equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. We know our h and k here. This is h, this is k. There you go. X minus 1 squared plus y minus 4 squared is equal to r squared. What is r squared? R squared is 18. This is what we are looking for. Happy chappy answer. I solved this question for you. You try question number 2 on your own. And let's go and solve some other type of question. Another type of questions that could be asked are these type of questions, question number 3 and question number 4 right here. In this case, they have given us the equation and they are asking about the center and the radius. To understand these type of questions, we have to go a little back in Algebra 1 when you guys have learned about completing the squares, quadratics. Let's try. Let's take one example to solve one of the quadratic equations. So completing the squares. What are the strategies for completing the squares? Let's understand it first. Our quadratic equation is always in the form of ax squared. Not always, but the standard equation is this, right? So if we follow certain steps, your answer will be accurate every single time. So the steps that I am asking you to follow are these. Isolate C. What is C here? This constant. Second step. Take half of B and square it. What is B in this case? The coefficient of x, that is B. Third step, add to both sides. And fourth, complete the squares. Pause for a moment and write all these steps down in your notebook so that you can use it. Okay, for completing the square, let's take one example. X squared minus 8x plus 2 is equal to 0. I need to use complete the squares to factor it completely. So my first step is isolate C. I will take C on the right hand side by subtracting 2 both sides. So my equation would be x squared minus 8x is equal to negative 2. I subtracted negative 2 both sides, right? Now step 2 says half of B. What is B here? B is negative 8, right? So we are just taking it. So half of B would be 4 squared. Yes, that will be 16. I will add that to both sides. X squared minus 8x plus 16 is equal to negative 2 plus 16 again. Now if you look closely, this is nothing but a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So I can write this as x minus 4 squared is equal to 14. This is what we are looking for completing the squares. And if you understand this, then we can solve question number 3 using the same principles. So take a moment, write these steps down, try to make sense of these steps, and then we will get back to question number 3. Question number 4, it is for you to try. Okay, so let's analyze question number 3. Let me erase this card. can get some space right here. So what is the equation that we are starting with? We have x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 2y plus 1 is equal to 0. So we have x terms and the y terms. I will separate them. So let's separate them. X squared minus 4x, right? And then let's use some different color. Then y squared plus 2y plus 1 is equal to 0, right? So we have to do the completing the square twice in this equation, one for x and one for y. Now, the first step is isolate c. What is c in this case? C is 1. So let's do that. X squared minus 4x, everything will remain as it is, but we will take 1 on the other side by subtracting 1 both sides. Now we have this equation. Now step 2 says take half of b. What is b in this case? For x this is 4, for y it is 2. So half of b and square it. For x it will be negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. For y, half of b. b is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. Now I need to add these to both sides. So x squared minus 4x plus 4. Because for x we got half of b squared as 4. And then y squared plus 2y plus 1, right? And then is equal to negative 1. I have to add 4 and 1 on the other side as well. Plus 4 minus plus 4 plus 1. Because whatever you are adding on one side of the equation, you have to do the same thing on the another side. Now, if you analyze these two, they are in the format of a plus b whole squared and a minus b whole squared. I can rewrite them in this way. X squared minus 2 times 2 times x plus 2 squared, right? A minus b. I just wrote it so that you can understand it. So my final equation would be x minus 2 squared plus, for this one, it is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, y plus 1 squared. And if I solve this whole entire mess, I will get 4. Now remember, radius is always in a square unit. That means radius will be 2 and radius squared is 4. My equation is x minus 2 whole squared plus y plus 1 squared and 2 squared, right? Because it was a radius, right? Now because it was a radius, let's write our final thoughts. What is the center? Center is h and k. What is h here? H is 2. We are not putting negative 2 because our equation is x minus h, y minus k. So we are just taking the terms. So it will be 2 and negative 1. Why negative 1? Because y plus 1. It should be y minus 1 squared, right? And the radius would be just 2. Remember, the equation that we are looking